After one long, cold final night fighting through light winds off the Brittany coast, Charlie Dalin, the French skipper of MACIF Santé Prévoyance, crossed the Vendee Globe finish line this Tuesday morning at 7:24 UTC to take victory. Dalin has been the most regular and consistent leader of the solo non-stop race around the world, heading the fleet for a total of 42 days, including an unbroken run since the 30th of December, takes victory in the most prestigious solo sailing race in the world. By winning in an incredible time of 64 days, 19 hours, 22 minutes and 49 seconds, Dalin has smashed the previous record set in 2016 by Armel Leclerc, 74 days and 3 hours, by an incredible 9 days, 8 hours, 12 minutes and 57 seconds. The 40-year-old skipper, who grew up in Le Havre in the north of France, has achieved the pinnacle result of his career after finishing a close second in 2020 to 2021. He will now be able to relax and fully enjoy his victory day. Dalin will have to wait for the tide to rise early this afternoon before ascending the legendary La Sables-dolonne channel, to step onto land for the first time since leaving La Sables-dolonne on start day, Sunday the 10th of November, and to now fully savor his incredible victory. Knowing well that any kind of mishap or accident could still happen, it still took Charlie Dalin some considerable composure to live through the final nervous hours of his race while making a long descent from the point of Brittany to La Sables-dolonne in light airs. Even if the final miles of his course allowed him to sail through his home waters, off Cancanu and the Glénans Islands, enjoying a flyby from France's Marine National, seeing coaches from his race training group, with so much at stake, Dalin had to remain cool and focused until his finish gun sounded this morning off La Sables-dolonne's famous Nouch-Sud finish line. The first boat set out to meet the winner at 0500 UTC, with the live broadcast starting 2 hours later, showing Charlie well wrapped up against the cold and MACIF Santé Prévoyance sailing close-hauled in light airs, on gentle sea in the soft hues of the early morning twilight. Then the camera pans out to breathtaking footage of the giant fleet of brightly lit support boats, escorting Charlie on the final few miles of an incredible voyage. After a couple of final short tacks into the finish, the suspense ends and he crosses the line at 7:24 Universal Time Coordinated, taking an emphatic victory in the 10th edition of the Vendee Globe. This was also the instant he could finally release his sheets, welcome his loved ones on board and, above all, finally let the emotions take over. Now he has time for a joyful wait and reunion before going back up the channel, which will take place as the tide rises early in the afternoon. A long day of celebration is in store for the man who is now the fastest sailor ever in the history of the Vendee Globe. I am the happiest man in the world today, for sure. Winning the Vendee Globe, my second Vendee Globe, last time I only had line honours but did not get the win. This time I did. With the team I have been working for 4 years on this edition, building this new boat, preparing this boat and upgrading the boat, and now it is done. When I crossed the finish line I felt things I never ever felt before, definitely the best finish line crossing of my career. By far, there was so much emotion. I am so really happy to be back in La Sables-dolonne after 66 days of ultra-fast sailing. I am just really happy.
Tell us about your feelings today.
I'm the happiest man in the world today, for sure. winning the Vendee Globe. That's my second Vendee Globe, and last time I only had line honours, I didn't win, and this time I did get the win. And we've been working with the team for 4 years on this edition, building this new boat, preparing this boat, upgrading the boat, and now it's done. And when I crossed the finish line, I felt things I never felt before. Like, that's definitely the best finish line crossing of my career by far, and that was just amazing. So much emotion, and like really happy to be back in Les Sables after 66 days of ultra fast sailing. I'm just really happy.
Tell us about the new record.
Yeah, a new record on the Vendee Globe. 8 days faster, I think, than Armel's Leclerc. So yeah, it's amazing thinking that now we can sail around the world on monohulls in 66 days. That's just cool. And yeah, these boats are just fabulous. They're amazing. They can go really fast. They're really reliable now, and you can push hard. You can push. You know, you're the limit. You know, the boat takes it. That's the man. The skipper who's the limit for sure. And yeah, I push really hard. And thanks to Johan Richom, I think that's one of the reasons why the record was beaten, because yeah, he pushed really hard and he forced me to push hard as well. And yeah, that was a really amazing battle with him around the world. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him when he arrives, because yeah, he's amazing. He's a very, really good sailor. That was his first Vendée Globe, and it seems like he's done it like 3 or 4 times already. You know, it looks like the Southern Ocean was like his garden. You know, and yeah, I was really impressed by his performance.
Meanwhile, back on the course, Johan is getting an Air Force salute as the French fighter jets buzz his yacht in a loud welcome home.
So we found the doldrums. Grey, raining, and no wind. And we found Jeremy, still there, not going anywhere. Looks like we might see the sky, the blue sky coming. That'd be nice. There's seaweed everywhere. So you're gonna see seaweed.
C'est bon. Voilà, on est amarré à Port Stanley au Malouine. Je crois que c'est un des trucs les plus rock'n'roll que j'ai fait dans ma vie de marin, cette manœuvre. On est arrivé avec des trains à 35 nœuds et là je pense qu'il y a 50 nœuds. On est arrivé, la nuit est tombée. Et juste on a réussi à s'amarrer, je pense qu'on a juste un peu le vent dehors. Et après on était amarré, le vent est rentré à 50 nœuds et si on avait pris je pense 10 minutes de plus, je pense que c'était foutu. En rentrant ici, je me suis dit bah, soit on réussit, soit le bateau est à la côte. Puis j'étais entouré avec des gens extraordinaires, il y a Marilou qui est là, il y a Paul qui est extraordinaire, il y a tous les gens du port là. Ils sont extraordinaires. It's so great, guys. It's so great. Donc le bateau est safe. On est à l'abri. C'est ça qui compte. Maintenant, on va laisser passer la tempête. On va réparer et on va repartir. Je suis content. Je fais des nouveaux amis déjà. Je les connais pas, mais je les aime très fort. Parce que j'ai eu peur, non? Vous pouvez pas savoir l'aventure. Une fois que je suis posé, je vous raconterai l'aventure que ça a été, quoi. Et là, il y a un truc de fou. On est amarré, donc c'est un ponton de la gare des Malouines. Et le truc qui est dingue, c'est que il y a 20 ans, je me suis amarré là avec mon petit bateau parce que j'avais une avarie de gouvernail. C'est un truc de barre. Je vous raconte tout ça en tout cas. Voilà, on est à l'abri, le bateau est intègre. Il n'y a personne de blessé. Vive la vie. Voilà, c'était les nouvelles de Stanazone Altaïa. Salut.
Alors s'il y a des ornithologues, des spécialistes parmi vous, je veux bien savoir ou avoir une confirmation. Je pense que c'est un sterne royal. J'en ai quelques-uns là depuis la latitude de Récif qui viennent voler et jouer un peu avec le bateau. Ouais, c'est assez joli, c'est assez racé, ça doit faire un bon mètre 20 d'envergure. Voilà, avec une forme d'aile assez particulière, un plumage blanc et noir. C'est assez racé. Voilà, donc s'il y a des spécialistes, je veux bien quelques réponses. Voilà, allez, à plus, je vous laisse profiter du petit coucher de soleil là, de ce soir.
In less than 24 hours, Charlie Dalin will be crossing the finish line of the Vendée Globe race and smashing the course record by close to 10 days by the looks of it, as will Johan Riesham, and closely followed by Seb Simon, who is also on track to break the course record. And I just want to say congratulations to all of them. This has been a phenomenal race. And this year we have seen the performance standards of the IMOCA fleet just go through the roof. And even though I didn't make it around the world, it's been really thrilling to be part of that. And they're actually going to be taking the course record from my boat, which won in 2016, and then held the course record through 2020 because it wasn't broken that year. That's the only year that it hasn't been broken. Meanwhile, we're thinking about how we are going to get this boat back to Europe. Now, with my heart, I wanted to sail it back, but having looked at the logistics, both the time and the cost of getting boat, rigging, sails, team down to Australia, versus just putting the boat on a ship and sending it back to Europe, it just doesn't make sense to send the mast down here. And because the mast is one design and the rigging is one design, there's a long lead time to even wait for those elements to be available. So it would be both more costly in time and money. So we're looking at options for shipping the boat back to Europe. Now that involves taking the foils out and taking the keel off and then putting the boat onto a ship on top of big bean bags. And at the moment I'm working my way around Melbourne trying to find facilities where we would be able to do that work, because there isn't a big yard here with a travel lift that could cope with the size of the IMOCA. So I'm having to look at using commercial wharves and hiring cranes. And obviously we don't have our cradle here, so we're looking at making makeshift cradle using containers and bean bags again. Trying to get ahead of any problems as much as I can. So today I'm going to take the pin out that connects the hydraulic ram and the safety ram to the keel head. Now the reason I'm doing that is because previously we have had problems with that binding up, and it's taken a lot of extra man hours and equipment to get the pin out. So I'm having a go at it now ahead of time, so if we know there's a problem, then when the tech team arrive, they'll be able to factor that into the work we need to do. The first part of this job is taking off the retaining plate at the back of the pin. So that's what we're looking at just here with the two Allen key bolts in it. So I need to just get my arms and head down here and loosen those bolts off, take the plate off before we drift the pin out. I got one half of it off. now I need to bash the other half off. It's a deeply unpleasant job because it's very uncomfortable getting your head and shoulders into that workspace. So I've undone the bolts, but the back part of the retaining plate fell down into the wet box under the keel head. My arm's not long enough to reach it, so I need a magnet. Go fishing. And one. Oh. Oh, success. So that's the retaining clips off both ends of the pin, and the next job is to see if we can get it moving, and for that I'm going to be using a slide hammer. So basically there's a huge weight on this rod, and we use the momentum of the weight bashing against the end of the hammer to try and draw the pin out of its position. So we've had to make an adapter. The incredible Rob has gone off to go and make that goes onto the end of this, and then we'll screw into the forward end of the pin, and once that's in place we can start trying to drift the pin out. So another job that I need to get on with if I'm leaving the boat for a while is to pickle the water makers, which basically means that I'm going to fill them with preservative to stop them from growing nasties on the membrane as they're not being flushed through regularly. I've removed the water maker inlet from where it normally comes from, so it shares a feed with the engine normally. So I've removed this pipe, and now I just need to make up the preservative to feed the water makers. The formula is 1 cup of preservative to 1 litre of water, and I know this bucket will take 10 litres of water. I'm going to fill it up with water that's in my tank, because that was water made by the water makers, so it's as kind of pure as it gets. It's not going to have anything extra in it, so that's the ideal stuff to make this solution up with. The solution's made up, so I'm going to tie the bucket off the tunnel, and hopefully that'll help with a gravity feed as well, a little bit of a siphon once it gets going. That's the job done then. It's getting towards the end of my day, and I just looked at the tracker and Charlie's got 276 miles to go. Amazing, but I'm feeling like a winner because yes, I got it out. Amazing. One step closer to getting back to racing.